You open your IELTS writing paper and boom, there is a scary looking bar graph, map, or a process diagram staring back at you. What do? Hi, this is me, Aksa, from IELTS with Aksa, your go to channel for mastering IELTS with clarity and confidence. And in today's video, we are going to break down exactly how to handle any IELTS academic writing task 1, which is a infographic task from bar graph to process diagram. So you can write with confidence, speed, and a high band score. Grab a notebook. By the end of this video, you'll have template, vocabulary, and pro tips that examiner gonna love. Now, first of all, we are going to talk about task understanding. First, let's get it straight. IELTS academic writing task 1 is not similar to essay writing. It's quite different. It's a kind of a report because you are describing a data where you are not given any stories or any kind of opinion, suggestion, or recommendation. You have 20 minutes to do this task and the word limit is not given, but the minimum word required is 150 words. First of all, make your aim to write at least 160 to 180 words, and your score is based on 4 things. Number 1, task achievement. Answer the question fully. And it means, did you describe all those important points? Number 2, coherence and cohesion. Is your report logically organized? It means that there must be a logical flow, paraphrasing, and linkers, which gives coherence and clarity. Number 3 is lexical resources, which means range and accuracy of vocabulary. Did you use different and precise vocabulary to describe for trends and comparison where it was relevant? And the 4th thing which is important and on which you will get your score is grammatical range and accuracy. Is your grammar correct? The tenses you use, the variety of sentences you use are in a good structure or not. Now the second thing on which mostly students feel perplexed how to do this task. So first of all, you need a well-defined and a clear structure how you are going to pen down this task. So the structure which is a part of this test is, first of all, you are going to write a clear, a precise, concise introduction. And one thing I want to clear, no matter what type of graph you receive in your IELTS academic writing task 1, whether it's a bar graph, pie, map, or process diagram, the structure is universal and it remains same for all categories of graphs, map, or diagram you will get. First of all, you are going to write an introduction which is also known as paraphrasing, because you are not allowed to copy paste the exact words which they have given you, because it's known as copy pasting, which is not allowed, and the examiner is evaluating you on the range of vocabulary you are using. So you need to restate the problem by changing the words with the help of synonyms, but that doesn't mean that you are going to change the meaning of the sentence. The meaning will remain same, only you need to change the word which they have used. You can use another synonym. So for example, you can see that on your screen there is a question associated with a bar graph, and the question said, the graph shows the number of tourists visiting 3 countries between 2000 and 2010. So how we are going to paraphrase this task? We can write an introduction in a manner such as, the bar graph compares tourist number in 3 different countries over a decade from 2000 to 2010. Now the second part of the structure is known as overview, where you are going to write down the key features, the most noticeable, the most important feature which you cannot neglect in the chart. And then overview is 1 or 2 sentences based on main trend without any specific numerical details. So you are not adding any numbers, any percentages, just write in a journal way. Don't be specific in this part. So if you are saying that the number of tourists are increasing in all countries, so you need to mention in your overview. So you will say, overall tourist numbers increased in all 3 countries, country A attracting the largest share by 2010. Then come body paragraph 1, where you are going to describe the first set of significant features with all those relevant details such as the percentages, numbers, years, you are going to mention all these details. And then body paragraph 2, where you are going to describe the second set of significant features, which means pattern, differences, and expectations. So here you required a pro tip. The pro tip is always group information logically. Not in the order you see it, but there must be a logic. For example, there is a comparison between higher and lower or larger and smaller values. So this creates a logic in your writing. Now you need a good vocabulary bank because when you are writing different trends and comparisons, you must use a good range of vocabulary because you are not supposed to repeat the same vocabulary again and again and again. Okay, so I'm going to give you some good vocabularies you are looking for to do this task. First of all, when we look and when we see our graph, we see different trends. So the first trend is known as upward trend, where something is going up. So it's known as upward trend. And particularly the examiner is looking at different variety, a good range of vocabulary in your writing. So for upward trend, the good range of vocabulary you can use are rise, increase, incline, surge, grow, go up, soar, escalate. So these are different variety of vocabulary you can use. Even you need some modifiers, you need to show the intensity of how it's going up. So you need some adverbs or adjectives. It creates a clarity how the trend is changing with the passage of time. So the adverbs or adjectives you can use are slightly, gradually, steadily, significantly, rapidly, sharply, drastically, dramatically, noticeably, considerably. If you see that it is increasing in a very sharp way, for example, it has increased from 3% to 50% or above 50%, so you can say it's a drastic incline or it's a dramatic incline. Now the second trend you will see in your graph is known as downward trend, where something has sunk. So the vocabulary you can use are fall, decrease, decline, plunge, plummeted, slumped, dip, diminish, shrink, drop. And also to show the intensity, you can use the same adverbs which I have already given you, such as considerably, noticeably, dramatically, drastically, sharply. Try to be more specific. Instead of writing big rise, use advanced vocabulary. So write massive increase, or you can use substantial growth. If there is a change, is a moderate change, so try to say a moderate change or marginal change. If there is a decrease and there is a heavy decrease or there is a high decrease and you are using big decrease, don't use it. Use steep decrease or use dramatic or sharp decrease. Instead of using no change when you are showing constant trend, try to use stable. Now the third trend which you will see in your academic writing task, one which is infographic task, is known as constant trend. So constant trend where there is no change, something remains steady. So the vocabulary you can use are remain steady, level off, fixed, plateau, stay constant, maintain the same level, or you can say show no significant change because there is no change and the strategy would remain same. You can use adverbs or adjectives such as relatively stable, constantly stable, consistently stable, uniformly stable, steadily in context. The fourth trend which you will see in your academic writing task, it's fluctuation. Fluctuation where there is no stability, something is going up and down. So the vocabulary you can use fluctuate, vary, oscillate, swing, erratic movement. Now you can use certain phrases such as show fluctuations, experience up and down, witness erratic movement, be unstable or inconsistent. And also you can use modifier such as widely fluctuate, mildly fluctuate, widely or wildly fluctuate, irregularly fluctuate or unpredictably fluctuate. Now the fourth thing which you will definitely see in your academic writing task, One is comparison. Because the question would remain same, it's summarize the information. Because the question would remain same, it's summarize the information by reporting and selecting the main features and make comparison where relevant. So the writing must show comparisons because they have given you comparison, and to achieve good marks and to gain good marks in task achievement, you need to make comparisons. So for comparison, the vocabulary you need is higher, lower than, more, less than, greater, smaller than, faster, slower than, lesser, fewer than. And you can use advanced comparison. For example, you are comparing two countries. For example, the divorce rate between two countries, and you are seeing that one country has more divorces than other country. X exceeded Y by, and now you can add numbers or you can add percentages. Number 2, X lagged behind Y. Number 3, X was marginally, or you can use significantly, higher than Y. Even you can use in contrast to or comparison to. X remained well below Y. X outpaced, or you can use surpassed to show comparison. And even you can use twice, thrice, or 4 times to show the exact amount of comparison. So you need vocabulary for approximation because sometimes you don't know the exact percentage or the exact value, so you cannot give the exact value. You are going to use vocabulary for approximation. So what you can use nearly, just below, more than, marginally over, around, roughly, just over, just under, slightly more than, slightly less than. For example, the number rose to approximately 50%. Even you can use fraction. Roughly 3/4 of the population has responded to the questionnaire. Number 3, just under 1/3 of the respondents. So this is how you are going approximation when you are not sure about the exact percentage. Now you require a pro tip here. So the pro tip is don't use the same vocabulary again and again. Use synonym. Now let's come to part 3. How to handle each infographic task. Now let's come to the guideline which you require for bar graph. You need to compare tallest versus shortest bar. And one thing you need is grouping data, and you need to group data logically. So as you can see on your screen, there is a bar graph, and the bar graph shows salaries of UK graduates and table of tuition fees. So how you can write the introduction? Okay, so the introduction must have 4 things. Number 1, the graphical presentation. Number 2, a good verb. Number 3, the topic. And number 4, the time frame they have given you. The bar chart illustrates average earning of science and law graduates from different UK universities 5 years after graduation. You can write the table presents data on tuition fee paid by overseas students for those courses. And when you are writing an overview, you need to be precise and concise because you are not writing everything. You are writing the most important feature which you have noticed, which was noticeable, and you cannot neglect that. So the key feature in the above chart or above graph is graduate from university with higher fees earn more, and law graduates earn more than science graduates. When we are writing the body paragraph, in body paragraph 1, we are going to describe salary across different universities and mention variation and relationships. In body paragraph 2, we are going to compare fees versus earning and explain the interesting trend, which means higher fees, higher salaries. Now let's come to map, how you are going to handle map. First of all, when you see a map, you need to understand, is it more residential or not? Is there more countryside or not? Are there more trees or not? Are the changes negligible or drastic? And how have the infrastructure has changed? It is now transformed, so it is now more modernized, or it's something that you can neglect. So when you are doing maps, so there are certain things which are important, such as describe changes in location. What are the additions in the present maps and what are the removals which has taken place in the given time frame. The more important thing is navigation, northwest, east, south, and preposition, because it shows relationship of a certain object with its surrounding, with its proximity. For instance, next to, far behind, in the center, to the east. So these are all preposition. As you can see on your screen, there is a map of a port harbor in 2000 and how it has transformed in the present time. So when you are going to write an introduction, the introduction is the two plan illustrates how port harbor has changed since the year 2000. And when you come on overview, you need to identify the major changes, which means the key developments which has taken place, like new infrastructure or orientation shift, because you can see that the fishing boat and marina yacht has switched. Both the location has switched. And you can see that the castle which was disused is now changed into a hotel, and the public beach is now a private beach which is exclusive for the hotel guest, and they have extended the road and they have constructed a new shop and a cafe. So there are different changes you can see in the map. So this is how you are going to include all these major changes in the overview. When you are going to write body paragraph 1, you will describe the first map in body paragraph 1, which is the layout and the facilities, and in body paragraph 2 you will describe changes such as passenger docks, yachts, cafes, hotels using present perfect passive. For example, has been expanded, have been built, have been converted. So this is the way you are going to write, and it gives you more marks in the fourth section, which is grammatical range and accuracy. Now for the process diagram, when you are seeing a process diagram, you must understand first whether it's a man-made or it's a natural procedure. How many stages are there? And then you need to identify the starting and the ending, and then you need to identify is it cyclic or is it non-cyclic, and are there any loophole, any repeating stages or something happening at the same time. So these are the journal overview which you need. So for the process diagram, make sure to use passive voice such as the mixture is heated and describe steps in order. And one thing you need to understand that you need time connectors such as first of all, after that, following this, next, and subsequently, consecutively, finally. So you are going to connect steps one by one. So for body paragraph 1, we are going to break down cycles, production stages into clear steps. And number 2, use passive voice and varied sentence structures. How you are going to write each part in real time. Step 1, we are going to paraphrase the question. Step 2, we are going to identify main trends to write a precise, concise overview. Step 3, write body 1. We are going to group first half of the data, and then step 4, body paragraph 2, where we are going to group second half of data. Here is a pro tip. Always compare. Never list numbers without context. Remember, IELTS test is not about showing how much you know. It's about showing how clearly you can describe the data. Stick to the structure, use precise vocabulary, and practice regularly. And if this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and comment Task 1 Masters if you are ready to score band 8 or high. Thank you so much. Bye for now.